We're back!
And we're back.
And we're back. Yeshiva's Gulas Shaul. Wartime ZOOMSHTEIG number 102. So, getting the Gemara, getting the gain. We're here in Airbnb in Sarah Sigton. Wartime ZOOMSHTEIG number 102. That means that 5 months we haven't missed a year since our family was taken hostage, and the UN attacked Israel and attacked the Jewish people, as a certain someone has been predicting since before October 7th. And we're
And we're back.
And we're back. She was going to learning in the schus of the soldiers and in the schus of the captains. Two groups that can't be learning Torah right now. And so we're learning Torah in their schus that everyone should be safe and everyone should be free. Charging?
Man.
And we're charging. Oh, let's get this pen. Yo, Dad. Check this out. Quick interruption from Sheer to show a Q. DVJ, you love that word, huh? Q on a triple word, triple letter, and F on a triple letter.
What the hell is a queef?
Oh my God, don't look it up, please.
Sorry.
What a tzaddik, Rivka says they don't know what that word means.
You're better off not knowing. You're better off.
Just don't Google it. Just don't Google it.
How could you tell somebody not to Google it?
Don't Google it, Tati.
That's the first thing you're going to do. Tell me to Google it, then I won't Google it.
If I tell you to Google it, then I'm culpable for what's in store. If I tell you not Google it, then we're putter. Okay. Bava Basra Daf Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph still, but we're just because we're doing Chazara. Listen, every Masechta is a little bit of a different Seder Halimud for us, but the Agaros of Rabba Bar Chana is the most different Seder Halimud I could possibly imagine, because we keep on seeing the same lines for days, and then we see the Gra. But it's important to keep on doing Chazara on these wild stories. So Amar Rabba Bar Chana, it says Rabba that goes says Bar Chana. Levidi Chazili, I saw Horman Bar Lilis. I saw Horman, son of Lilis, who is a demon, right? Possibly half, the Rashbam says half demon, half human. His mom was Lilith, the queen of demons, and his dad was just some guy. Okay.
Where are we holding on the daf, Achi?
4 lines down. Sorry, 3 lines down. Sorry, 2 lines down. Kika Raida Kofia, 2 lines up, to show Raida Mechuzah. So he was running on the wall of Mechuzah. And we asked, how is it possible to be running on a wall? But then we gave Shir in Fort Pickens, and we saw what it meant to be running on a wall. We saw a wall that also has a path. Very fascinating. Okay. And V'rayit Parsa ki rachiv chiyusa mitata v'lo yachilei. It says the shade was rat biyoter. It seems like the demon over here was running super fast, but he still couldn't catch this guy who was just riding. And we said, so we saw in the Gra that the tzaddikim are, first of all, the tzaddikim are a wall, or the Torah is a wall, and tzaddikim are the protectors of the Torah, a wall, right? Migdalos, Shaddai, Migdalos, and and he couldn't catch him because the Talmud Chacham, the devil can't catch up to him. Someone who's steiging Torah, like the Talmud Chacham is called a rider, and we also saw that in the Gra. Okay, I'm just going a little bit on the outside from what I remember in the Gra to bring us to where we're at in the Gra. We're just going through the Gemara first, just to see it again. And by the way, it says that the shade was running. It was running fast. It was very fast, but still, it couldn't catch the Talmud Chacham or the horse rider. It's an analogy, a metaphor for the Talmud Chacham. Couldn't catch him because of the Torah that he's learning. Okay, that's the first part of the shtickle. The second part of the story is where we're in the middle of with the Gra. Zimna chadaya mistargon le tarte kudenaisi. And the Rashbam says shurigan shahaya okev visarga nisunin ala prados. So it seems that there was a saddle and the foot. Shalom Aleichem Jax. There was a saddle and the foot holding, which I think is a sarga maybe. And it was on the mule. And he had two mules.
I'm still not sure where we're holding.
The bottom line of Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my brother. So he put two saddles on two mules, right? V'kaimin atre gishrei didonan. So they were each of these mules were on two different gisharim, two different bridges in a place called Ronan, right? Now, remember I showed you guys the Gra yesterday. It's very hard to see, but it seems that maybe the Gra, we're going to see this again today, we're going to do this whole story again of this part, but it seems that the Gra, it says Rognag. I don't know, but the Gra was talking about something with donag, which is wax. The Rognag, it says that's the name of the Nahar. The Shoar Mehai Lahai, he was jumping from one the high gisa to the high gisa. So maybe he was jumping from one side to the other side of the he was, I don't know, was he jumping from one he was jumping from one side to the other side. Now that means he's jumping from one donkey to one mule to the other mule, or does it mean that he was jumping from one side of the no, it says two, they were from one bridge to the other bridge maybe, but either way the Gra seemed to say that this was a reference to someone who's jumping from his taiva for like sex and food and physical things, to his taiva for honor, where he was acting so from, and he's jumping back and forth. This person, they say that this is a person who's only his Torah is only he's only doing Torah so that people think he's beautiful, right? So they were far from each other. And he was, okay, so the Rashbam says straight out, by the way, he was jumping from mule to mule. Okay, and he had two cups in his hand of wine, and he was pouring them back and forth, and he didn't drop even a single drip. And that day, it was wild. It was wild. So it was wild wind and stuff, and it was throwing all the people in their ships to the firmament, back down to the Tehom, to the depths of the earth, or the depths, right? Whatever the Tehom is. Now, I saw something very interesting about the firmament. So we say that the firmament is a dome, right? But we look up and we just see sky. So what's going on over here? Okay, so when oxygen freezes, it is a light blue, right? And there are certain temperatures that it mamish turns solid, which would be like a glass dome. And then, but if it's a little bit lower of a temperature, right? When you go higher and higher and higher, I guess like the temperature gets colder. We have to like research it, but but up until it freezes, but under the frozen part of the firmament of the rakia, it doesn't go back to gas immediately, which is what we breathe, our oxygen. But there's a time, there's a temperature somewhere, like all the way up. It goes at about 5 degrees Kelvin. It turns into a blue glass. That's the firmament. Oxygen, just oxygen. And the waters above is because between when it turns into a solid and it turns into a gas, which is what we see in our world that you could breathe, it turns into water, Dad. And that's shot in the Mayim Elyonim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the Mayim Elyonim. It's just oxygen in liquid form above, under the rakia, but above the air that we breathe. Okay. So how is that? Why did I bring that up now? Because we're talking about water. So it was throwing them up to the rakia and down to the depths. Ad vishamu bemalchusa vikatluhu, until the king heard and killed him. And so who killed this demon? It was either the king of demons, and they were mad at him for associating with humans. Dad, never ever mix with humans.
Yep.
That's the rule for mermaids and demons. Right? So, okay. So, and one opinion is that it's the Roman Empire. And we really got to look up, or I still haven't sent the psukim in Tehillim. I mean, part of me wants to just go right now to Sefaria and take a screenshot of Tehillim Kuv Zayin, just because I talk about it every day in Shir and I always forget, and I just need a screenshot. And we know it's Tehillim Kuv Zayin, and it's very apropos. It says the Gra it's not only apropos to our current Maisa, but it's actually apropos to all of these Agaritas. Yodul Hashem Chazdo v'niflo osav livnei Adam. So this is actually specifically talking about, right? This is talking about the Tehillim of giving thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it starts, and you guys are not going to believe this. You guys are not going to believe this. Dad, you're not going to believe this. Are you sitting down, Tati? Jax, you need to know this very important piece of information. So in Parshas Naso, there are a few psukim that are separated by upside down nuns. And if you open the Chumash to this page, you get 50 points in Torah baseball. These nuns, these upside down nuns, right? So our whole life, we were thinking, okay, upside down nuns, it's a one-off, it's nowhere else in Torah. The Yid just went to Sefaria. Only by these psukim of Yor Deyam Be'onios, there are 6 upside down nuns. These psukim that the Gra is talking about, Yor Deyam Be'onios, going down to the yam, into the water in boats. Ozim Malach of Mayim Rabim, they do their work in great waters. Hema Ra'u Maseh Adonai, they saw the actions of Hashem B'niflo Osav B'mitzula, and his wonders in the Mitzula, in, I don't know what Mitzula, some sort of snake or something. Kidding. Some sort of trap, or maybe that's the depths. Mitzula, maybe it's the depths of the water. It says that the ruach, the wind, that's the wild wind, has stood up, and the waves have stood up. Ya'alu shamayim yerdu tohom. This is the pasuk that we're talking about now. It goes up to the heavens and it goes down to the depths. Nafsham baratis mogag. Their nefesh in evil was melted. Tismogag also melted, right? Yachogu ve'anu kishikor. They're thrown around like a drunkard. V'kol chachmazam tizbala, and all their wisdom will be swallowed up. Ve'yitzaku el Adonai b'tzar lehem. They screamed to Hashem. When it was hard for them. Umimitsuko seyem yotziem, and Hashem took them away from the mitzuka. I'm sending that to the yeshiva chat right now. But it was important that we saw that pasuk. And it's unbelievable that the 6 psukim I'm talking about, they just have upside down nuns before them in Tehillim. Upside down nuns. Absolutely wild meisters. Upside down nuns. Obviously, this is what they're talking about in these crazy Agaritas. Like these upside down nuns, what? I sent it to the group. Okay, so now we start Tehillim Kuf Zayin, Moradek. Now go back to the game. Now, again, if I had I don't even want to show the front of this book because this guy, Aaron Feldman, big rabbi, tzaddik, rosh yeshiva in Ner Yisrael, big tzaddik, but I mean, he printed the gra in the back of his book, and you can't buy this gra. So the only way to get your hand on this gra is to buy Aaron Feldman's book. So not only is he a genius Torah scholar, but he's also a great businessman. And so I'll give him his props. But still, he doesn't like lugging around an entire English book just because he's using the last 10 pages of the gra. But okay, where were we? So we were saying that when he was jumping back and forth, maybe that's a reference to Taiva and Kavod. We didn't really understand what they're talking about. It's the Gemara in Megillah. Rebbetzin, do I have my shas? It says the Gra writes in his Parish of Megillah, there is no IC Bahadi Adade im Minan Malge Minayu Efreche im Minaichu Malki Shein Taiva and Kavod. So these two sides, everything is double here, is going back and forth, back and forth. They're talking about Taiva and Kavod. Now, Taiva is, right, remember we talked about that there was Eibishter and there was Satan, and the Eibishter is the top, according to this how the Gra learned. The Eibishter is the top half, and they say that Satan, or Hormuz, has the bottom half, right? It could be a different girsa, Hormuz, Ahormuz. But at the end of the day, there are two types of things that could be in the domain of evil, of Satan, of Yetzer Hara, right? And so Yetzer Hara can get a person on like sexual impropriety. The Yetzer Hara can also get a person on like, oh, look how frum he is, but really he's just doing it so that people think he's beautiful. He's just doing it so people think he's beautiful. How do you know who's just teaching Torah so that like people will think they're beautiful, and who's really teaching Torah because of the love of Torah? Well, if they resisted the vaccine, so then we know that their entire learning is the same Shemayim. But if they fell for it, so then we start asking questions. Like, if they think the earth is flat, so we know it's the same Shemayim. If they think the earth is sloped, we have questions where you're getting your information from. Obviously not Torah. Maybe from Alexander the Great and Tosfos. No, there are other ways. Listen, everyone knows that the Yid is not perfect. I'm not perfect, and we're steiging. And it's very sad that a lot of rabbis fell for it, but it doesn't necessarily postle them. It just might postle them from kahuna because they might not have a din human, but it's a shaila. Dad, I'm joking. Okay. So, Oh, this is pretty good. I less than 1 minute of tangent talking about flat Earth and vaccines before we get back to the Gemara. My dad, like SpongeBob out of water when I start talking about this stuff. Taira, I need Taira. So the time and was just okay. Okay, listen, you guys also know that we're learning this. We're learning to grow. We're getting as much as we could, but you know that if we had a 4-hour shear, we could go into depth and look up every nikuda of the gra, like we were doing in the beginning of Yeshiva's Gula show, a 4-hour shear, but everything at the right time. And so now we're seeing the gra, and we're doing our best. Oh, my dad left, and he's back. Shalom Aleichem Tati. Stand up every time you come into that. The nugget tray mazga de chamra biyade. The morik mehai lahai velo notva netiva laara. There wasn't one drip that dropped to the ground. You know, didn't drop one thing. It's like this guy is like the opposite of Queen Spills. Okay. So in Yana, okay, so now what's going on here, Schligs? Schligs sometimes disappears and just becomes a boat. Schligs is like an animagus.
Oh my gosh.
No, he's an
Great call.
aquatomagus.
Aquatomagus. Good one.
An animagus is like someone who can turn into animals. An aquatomagus is someone who can turn into a boat.
Love it.
So it says like this. In Yano Mashikas Bizor, I'll stay Banos Lot Sha'amru. Right. We were also talking about the two daughters of Lot, right? That, I mean, at the end of the day, Lot had sex with his two daughters. But at the same time, like they thought they were doing it with Shem Shamayim, maybe. Okay. So, because the wine. L'cha nishda as avinu yayin. Let's get our dad drunk. Shein beis kitot. These are two types, two groups, right? Or maybe beis kochos, two energies. Vehein a taiva, right? The taiva, like the sexual impropriety of sleeping with your father. The hamit orer shehein misayin zoluzo. So it was, they were taiva, but also they were awakened and they were helping each other. Hataiva ba mina mitorer. The taiva, it comes from who gets awoken, mitorer, to be awake. Ve'amitorer levado below taiva l'shavya orer. But someone who's going to be excited, right? Mitorer maybe is like that. Or to wake up, or to be like alert, or to be excited, possibly sexually. But as someone who's just mitorer, just wakes up, just gets excited by himself without taiva, he's getting excited or horny for no reason. V'lo natva netiva la'ara. And so when it says that there not a drop to the ground, shelo asu achas mehen maisa. Shalom midas chaverta. What that means is that none of the sisters had sex with their dad that their other sister didn't know about. V'zeh amru trei mazge dechamra. That's what we're talking about, 2 cups of wine. Those 2 cups of wine, unbelievable. DVJ, what an unbelievable stickler. You know, we're reading about 2 cups of wine. We all know the story of the daughters of Lot, but the Gra connects the story of Lot with the 2 cups of wine because the two sisters, they got their father drunk. The Amar Netifa La'ara, there was no drip to the land, perish. What it means, Lo Nazan Lo Hashem Leiv Ladas Shesovo Le'afar. Hashem didn't give him Lo didn't give him hard to know that his end is dirt. Saying who? Ve'hu yoma, and that day yalu shamayim yardu homos. So it says on that day, says the Gra, it says day, it's the day that's known. Oof. What is the day that's known?
Yom Adin in
Yom
Lazavavo.
Digdan, maybe. What's Yom Adin, Schlegs?
The day of judgment when when the Geula comes.
So that's one Yom Adin, but there's another Yom Adin.
Yom Kippur.
And there's
Yom
another Yom
Rosh.
Adin.
Another Yom Rosh Hashanah? No.
Another Yom Adin.
Bleib.
But the truth is a trick question. Great Bleib, and I wasn't asking the question right. Because it's not really a day. But after the day that a person dies, he has a Yom Adin. But it's of course outside the time. So that's what the Gra says. It says that the Nefesh and the Ruach HaSichlit. So the Gra is talking, remember talking about the Nefesh and Ruach HaBahamit, the animal soul that just wants sex and cheeseburgers. And then you have the Nefesh and Ruach Sichlis, and so when they go up, L'mayla HaShamayim, when they go up, the Nefesh Ruach HaBahamit, but the animal Nefesh and Ruach, by the way, this idea of a Nefesh and Ruach, the Nefesh and the Ruach, the animal and Nefesh and Ruach of the intellectual, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the Rebbitzin can tell me. She's spending all year looking at words, trying to figure out what she's going to play in Scrabble. But maybe the Rebbe does. Does the Lubavitcher Rebbe talk about this? Not the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Yeah, like the Baal Tanya. He talks about Nefesh and Ruach, Be'emit and Sichli. I don't know. Schlegs, how do you would know that? You also learn Tanya. Does the Baal Tanya talk about the Nefesh and the animal soul, the animal, right? So the Baal Tanya talks about it, the Gra talks about it. They had a huge bitter argument, but they're both talking about like the same like ideas in Torah. So the Gra is talking about the Nefesh, which is and the Ruach. I can't translate those words into English or everything. Nefesh is the bottom of the soul, and then the Ruach. Yeah, but the Gra seems. Yeah. I see it here, but the Gra. I don't think he's talking about Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechida. He's just talking about Nefesh and Ruach. So there are.
Don't we have a pasuk?
What?
We have a pasuk ki hadam hu anefesh regarding.
Right. So when we're analyzing, very good. Shoots out Schlegs at it again. So Schlegs is like I've been learning this Gra for almost 2 weeks now, and I already figured out his Derech Halimud. It's like, well, we're talking about Nefesh. Let's see where else we see Nefesh. Oh, Adam one Nefesh. So Nefesh is a reference to blood. But but here it's talking about the Nefesh and the Ruach of the intellectual and the Nefesh of the Ruach of the physical. Okay, so we have to see what that is. Definitely the way that the Gra would try to learn those concepts would be like, let's see where it's mentioned in the Torah. Vayibach be'apam, right? Vayibach be'apam ruach, right? Or nefesh chaya. What's the pasuk in Bereshis that he blew into Ruach Elokim shkaya, and so Ruach Elokim, and then Uncle says it's speech, the ability nefesh malala, the ability to speak is ruach. So and blibing when the Gra uses this intellectual and physical nefesh and ruach. It is that, but the very good. So it was going up to Shemayim and down to the homos, right? Says the gain what goes up to Shemayim on that day of death. That's the nefesh and ruach hasichli. That's the person's intellect. But a person's body and his animalistic instincts, they just go. It goes down to the. It goes down into the earth. It goes down to the Tehom, to the depths, the Johnny depths. Kamosha Gazav, like it says, Miyodeh Ruach B'nei Adam. Ha'ola Hilamayla. V'ruach HaBehema Yoredes. What is that, a pasuk? Like it says, who knows the spirit of man that goes up and the spirit of an animal goes down. The Aval Pichein, and even though lo pazar, lo chazir ma'asav harayim. So even though Yom, so even though they were like about to die, maybe, even though they were about to die, maybe, they still didn't go back. They still didn't go back. They didn't return from their they didn't go back from their bad Maisa. Ad Shamu Be Malka, until the king house heard. So the Rashbam says either this is talking about the king of the demon, or this is talking about the king of the king house of the Romans. Comes the gain and says Perish Malchusa Dirakia. The Malchus of Yetzira, maybe the Rakia is Yetzira, the firmament. We're just talking about the firmament. I love when the Gra mentions Shibud Malchus or firmament or other things that my dad sometimes like questions, like, Shmuel, is this really Torah you're talking about? And I can say, the gain. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I'm a small yid. The gain held it was Torah. So it's the Malchus of the Rakia. The Katlu, and they killed him. It says Mipnei Shekol Hayamim Mem Hey Dalid. Kol Hayamim, all of the seas, may high something, Mikatreges, Midas Adin, all of the waters, Midas Adin is always, Mikatreg, it's always trying to litigate or to sue or to make claims against. Accused. The ain shomin law, and they don't listen to it. Ad ahu yoma, every day. Midas adin. Shalom aleichem, shalom aleichem, bendo. All the days, the Yetzer Hara, Satan, demons, they're accusing. They ain't showman love, but we don't listen. Hashem doesn't listen to them. Maybe this is what it means. Again, this is very hard stuff. Arahu yoma, until the day of death. Shalachay nikra HaKadosh Baruch Hu nosei avon. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we call him nosei avon, right? Shesovel oso areyomahu, because a yid could have done a sin, and Hashem is like waiting on him to do tshuva until the day of death. That is the day of reckoning. We should all be zeichet to be chayzer b'tshuva shleima.
Amen.
Kadosh Baruch Hu should count our tears. Sivko builders in the house. Yo, Scotty, the only thing we know about builders is that people who study Torah are builders, and he's gone. And he's gone. The whole Indian Sipur Maimar Azeh. The Gra says the whole Indian of this story, which is like so crazy. Who al midas atayva v'akavod. It's talking about a person accruing like all these physical pleasures, right? And also honor. Shalav Nemar Alu Hashemayim Yardu Homos, right? because Alu Yalu Hashemayim is spiritual, is arrogant, or is like a person wants to be respected. That's more of a spiritual taiva. It's more of a spiritual thing that he lusts for, to be respected. And then again, you have like the physical things of food and of sex and of other animalistic things that a person might get into.
10 men.
The Torah mitzvos. So someone who studies Torah and does good deeds, does good commandments, that you'll give him respect. You'll be like, oh wow, look how long this guy's tzitzis is and payas, you know. You do ozo v'yalash mayim. Oh, see, I got that. That's exactly what I said. That is talking about the spiritual lusting after, oh, I want people to respect me, you know. The algarkach, and then afterwards, yorei tohomos, the mitzulos hataiva, and the traps. Yo, was I right when I said mitzulos is trapped and then blind? Maybe it is trapped. The traps of taiva, ube'eros chomrei hayetzer. And the well of the physicality. Behu al seder akasov, and this is according to the pasuk that we just saw earlier today, and I sent to the group. Yalu shamayim yardu tohomos nafsham berat mogag. Right? They go up and they're like, oh, look how respectful I am. Look how much Torah I'm teaching. Look how stark I am, everyone. You know, which is something that I never say. Or maybe sometimes, but listen, I'm not like someone who never ever makes mistakes, you know. I try not to be like, yo, respect me because I teach Torah. Respect me because I do mitzvahs. I'm very machmir. I don't even wear tzitzis because I don't want people to respect me, think I'm so from. I don't even. Yeah, you can tuck in your tzitzis, but maybe it will come out. I'm chayshish, maybe it will come out. So I don't even wear tzitzis, you know, because I don't want people to think that like I'm so from. Now it happens to be that we have a yid in share who's wearing his tzitzis on the outside of his shirt today. All right, listen. I chas v'shalom that it should be for any reason of not l'shem shamayim. I happen to know the yid, and I know the yid does it l'shem shamayim. I also know the yid is a chassidish, and so maybe the Gro wouldn't approve of wearing your tzitzis outside of your shirt. But the yid's following the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov says wear 30 pairs of tzitzis outside of your shirt. What are we worried about? Oh wow, look how from DVJ is with his Jew hat. So it's not about whether or not you're wearing your tzitzis outside or inside. I was using that as an example. And then I happened to notice that we got a yid wearing his tzitzis on the outside of his shirt today, you know? But it's not about that. It's about the intention. And I happen to know that the yid who's wearing his tzitzis on the outside of his shirt today has intention only l'shem shamayim. He doesn't want us to say, oh, you're so from, look at your tzitzis on the outside of your shirt. If he wanted us to say, oh, you're so from, look at the tzitzis on the outside of your shirt, he would put on techeles. No, I'm kidding. There's people who do techeles on the outside. When I wear tzitzis, I have techeles, and I wear them only at night. So that I'm not like, I'm kidding. I'm getting back into this subject. I just had to point it out. That was the perfect example of like someone who does mitzvahs to be so from wearing tzitzis outside of his shirt that I realized that someone here has tzitzis outside of his shirt. So I had to take a minute to explain that this particular yid is doing everything l'shem shamayim, but someone could fathom an idea of a yid who wears tzitzis on the outside of his shirt so that people will think he's from. And there actually is an opinion that you're not supposed to wear your tzitzis on the outside of your shirt because it looks like arrogance, Mexikiura. But the Hasidim don't hold of that. And we know that Shlegs is a Chassid. And so we're looking at it as, Baruch Hashem, a Yid wearing tzitzis, right? Everyone makes their own cheshbonos. But the Gra is talking about someone who, in theory, would wear his tzitzis on the outside of his shirt just so that people think he's stark, right? See the Yalu Shamayim, and then your date the homos. But then in the physical taivas, right? Then they fall into those Yardut to homos. That's where the body goes. The physical body goes into the tahom, into the depths. And listen. Far be it from me to say anything about anyone, because everyone knows it's so hot in this. It's so hot in this shirt, in this sweatshirt. Second of all, listen, no one's perfect, and we're all steiging, and we're all trying to grow and be better. And those are the two, and there are two main tests that we have: physical tests like sex, right, and like non-kosher food maybe, and sex like with like not your wife, and then you or physical, whatever physical things a person can think of, and then you have the spiritual tests of you have the spiritual tests of, for example, honor, and a person could be acting from, right, and so it's possible there are these two tests, and the guys jump back and forth. The other got your homos, and say because of Yahushaman, your domos, not your brothers Mogag, their soul melts. It says Agar Sha'amar Tiromim Galav. So after we learned about the Gaiva in last story, that the wave goes so high, and that was a reference, that was a cryptic reference, that if the physicality can take a person, especially if he thinks he's going up. Do you say something, Bear Bendel? Especially if he thinks he's going up, if he thinks he's getting so religious, he thinks he's coming close to Hashem. So it's possible that the arrogance, the gaiva, can come to him. So after the arrogance in the pasuk before that I sent to the shir, 2 minutes, perfect timing. Gaiva, achar kach ba el kavod b'ataiva. So first we spoke about gaiva, arrogance, but then we're going to speak in this story. Talks about the taiva and the kavod, that people go back and forth. Kevin, please. People go back and forth between these two stories, between these three. Really, these are three things. I only have 1 minute left. What are you waiting for? I didn't mean to yell, but you know. Today we learned about taiva and kavod. Last story we learned about arrogance. These are different tests that a person could face when he's swimming in the waters of this earthly place. And we know that the world is 70% water, and we know that water doesn't curve. And we've never seen it and never observed it. And also, the moon landing was fake, and that was admitted by Stanley Kubrick. My dad learned a new English word today. It's cute. Don't look it up. My Haley Jews. Scotty knows the word. Schlig knows the word. David knows the word. Kendall knows the word. Rebecca knows the word, but my daddy never heard the word, and we're not going to tell him what it means because it's not appropriate for a shear. But I spelled an amazing word in Scrabble, Scotty. Look, I got the Q on a triple word score. Okay, check it out. Q on triple word score. Okay. So, L'chora, we finished the gain on this Nikuda. Maybe I'll take a look and give a quick summary tomorrow before we